Yeah, I just came out with a sled here to get a load of wood of these standing dead oaks. Been really cold, so I've been cutting close to home and sledding it rather than fight, getting the vehicle going. I mean, I always leave some handy stuff, but I haven't done a video for a while, so I thought I should. Well, there again, I've made like 3 different videos. I just never bothered to upload them. But there was something that came up yesterday that I thought was interesting. They were, well, it had to do with they took out some ISIS leader again, one of these things, and when they were having a little discussion about this, and the one reporter expressed doubts about what they were saying, which is a smart move because they lie. Our administration lies constantly. They have no credibility at all. And gradually, people are beginning to realize this. You can't believe anything they tell you. But they were greatly insulted that you don't believe their bullshit. I heard that from a couple different, one State Department and then from that red-headed spokesman. But when you hear something like that, they always get on the same page, kind of, and they'll all be talking the same thing. But because again, they took out a bunch of civilians. They tend to do this a lot. Well, then they were claiming that, he blew himself up. It wasn't them, but then all the people in the area around there were saying, oh no, that isn't how it went down. So, but you don't trust our government. If you got any brains at all, you don't trust them because they've got a long record of lying. But what I was going to talk about was this what's going on in Ukraine. We're pouring money and weapons in there like crazy, just to no end, and sneaking in advisors, us and Canada and the UK. We're priming them for something. But when this whole thing lit off, way back when we caused that regime change, which is what we're good for, our big scheme, the whole point of this thing was to get into Crimea. Well, Crimea decided they didn't want any part of what was going on in Kiev, so they pulled out. They had a vote and just said, no, we don't want nothing to do with this. Well, that pissed us off. It left us stunned, because that was the whole point of this exercise. All that money and all that time we had spent building this up, and then we lost our chance for Crimea because that's what the whole goal was. And now, when we're pouring all this money in there and all these weapons, and people keep looking up, like at Belarus, thinking, oh, they're going to come from there, and the Russians are going to sneak in. That's the story they keep telling you, that they're going to invade. That isn't really what's going to go down. I can see what's going to go down. The border between Crimea and Ukraine has been a battle all the time. There's been little skirmishes going on. This has been a steady deal. So, what's going to kick off, I think, is going to be there, right at the border. It's a small thing, area. So it's going to be a very concentrated thing. And the Ukraine, they have been putting missiles systems there all the time, adding and adding and adding. So they're building it up to make a push. I mean, they keep infiltrating into Crimea, trying to cause problems. They keep kicking them back out. But I think the whole purpose of our pouring all this time and money and weapons in there is to build up to the point where Ukraine will make a push into Crimea. They make it sound like it's these other two provinces that is where the real hell is going to break loose. But I think Crimea is the main goal. That's why it was like a little over a week ago. All of a sudden, we moved a carrier group into the Mediterranean. Now, they weren't scheduled to be there. They had no reason to be. They were actually supposed to be going on some Arctic exercise. But all of a sudden, whoop, into the Mediterranean. Well, I think they're to back this up, this push. And we keep sneaking around, Crimea all the time, messing around in there. Running boats in there, not out, we're constantly after it. So I think that's where the problem will start. Then it'll blow up into the other area, but I think it's going to start there and get all out of hand. But what's going to happen? I mean, these people in Crimea are Russian citizens. Now, if Ukraine comes in there, actually tries to take that over, Russia is going to respond very harshly. They aren't going to sit by. And that'll be our excuse to try to get involved. But now, if we get involved in that, we usually play around through third parties. We don't try to get directly involved. We try to avoid that. A direct confrontation between the U.S. and Russia. Of course, now, even at this point, the carrier group that moved into the Med is all of a sudden under NATO command. It's our carrier group, but it's under the command of NATO. It's kind of to distance us a little bit from it, though NATO is really us. But that's the scheme, to cover it. I mean, we do that a lot of times. So, if that gets to that point, where they actually, and I think they're gonna, because there are some real hotheads in Ukraine that are really pushing for this, and now we've gave them everything they need to really do it, to make this try. But it's going to bring Russia out. It's going to be like kicking a hornet's nest. I mean, Ukraine's been poking all the time at that bridge, trying to make a little feint for it, and they're going to probably try to take that bridge out, one of the first things. So the Russians are really watching that, and us, we like to sit back and fling those Tomahawk missiles at stuff. And Raytheon just sits there and smiles, and the cash register just keeps ringing. The other people that are promoting this, so many of these people that we've got in Congress are war hawks, but for a reason that they are invested heavily in the arms industry in the first place. I mean, that's ever since World War II, our whole thing has been, we run on weapons. There again, it goes back to Eisenhower's farewell speech when he talked about the military-industrial complex. That's the whole deal. We didn't listen to that, or the right people didn't listen to it, or they need to listen to it now. But I think all hell is going to break loose there. The problem will be to try to keep some control on it. Now, we've got some hotheads. Ukraine is full of hotheads. I think this could very easily get all out of hand. I don't think there would be any reining this back once it gets going. We lie all the time. I mean, I heard the one time, oh God, the Russians are putting missiles in Belarus. Well, yeah, because they have that pact, that mutual defense pact. But the missiles they're putting in aren't offensive missiles, they're the air defense missiles, those S-400s, which they have sold all over the world because they are a really good system, but it really pisses us off because they're too good a system, and we like to poke around where we shouldn't be. So we're kind of deathly afraid of them things. That's why, like, India bought a whole bunch of them. And all we're doing when we're tormenting Russia on this thing, we're pushing Russia and China together. and Russia and India have gotten to be real close, and India's got a big army. I think we're forming lines, but we're on a very bad disadvantage here. I'm sure you don't want to hear that. You want to think, oh man, we could take on anybody, but that ain't the fact. I think we could get our butt whooped badly. Um, it's just our history. But we're bound and determined to do that. To the only we're doing it because we wanted Crimea so bad. We wanted to get that chunk of land to park shit on. Get our foot in the door, and the damn Russians slammed it. So we're pissed. But this isn't going to work well. This is going to work horribly. I don't know what reality these people live in, that they think this is a smart idea. But it's going to happen, you know. Even like the people in Ukraine, I mean, because they're not all hotheads, and some of them said, "Oh God, no, that ain't." They're trying to tone things down, but we keep trying to get it going, trying to egg them on, get them going, get them, make a little rush, and it's all our doing. It isn't Russia going to invade. It's a we're invading, but in a slippery way. Boy, we just can't leave stuff alone. But it'll be interesting to see how it works out. But like I say, this could get out of hand very quickly. We got crazy generals and stuff talking. We should make a nuclear first strike. Well, how smart is that? I don't know. I don't know. People don't understand history or something. This is such a bad idea. But we've got some real war hawks, both Democrats and Republicans. But like I say, a lot of them are tied in with that industry. And like Biden now, he's getting his advice from these think tanks, which are mostly made out of people from these military industries. What are they going to say? They're going to, oh God, yeah, start a war. We cannot win this. Nobody can win this, but there are people who can lose it, and we are going to lose it. No good will come out of this. And I can't understand, the UK has got to be nuts there. Their military has got to be as bad as ours. I mean, they're up to their neck in this. And even Canada, I would have thought Canada would know better. But it seems like every time the UK is going to get involved, Canada's got to get their nose in there too. Yeah, you see a lot of stuff on it, though. You see a lot of propaganda, but it's so obviously propaganda. It just really doesn't fly. Oh well, I had wood to cut, but I thought I'd mention I am still up and around. And tonight, it's supposed to start warming up. We've been like 30 below, but it's supposed to get up to by morning. It should be above zero, which will be the first time for a while, and I think sometime tomorrow it could be 30 above. Well, then I can get stuff done. Because I lay kind of low when it's just cold. It doesn't pay to hammer away at stuff. But that's it. I thought I'd just catch up, but keep your eyes on what's going on. I don't know why people don't. When you've got these people, these war hawks, they're supposed to be working for you, trying to get this shit going, that people just don't refuse. I mean, nobody's going to win in this thing. This is going to turn out horrible. But I don't know what world these people live in. But there's no reality to that at all. But in a way, okay, we're bound and determined to do it. Go ahead, do it. Take a hell of a beating. A lot of innocent people are going to die for no reason. But I guess we'll get a good ass whooping. Maybe things will change. But our position in the world has radically altered, and it is not going back. We're done as a world power, really. I mean, we think but actually, we're pretty ineffectual. So we'll see. I'm just spectating. But why you put damn fools like that in any kind of position of power and authority? Because this could get out of hand very easily.